Good morning, everyone, or good evening, or good night, whatever time it is that you might be lurking on YouTube today. We've got some awesome stuff for you. Today is the clock choke, which is a move that you can use to attack someone's back when they're turtling or trying to defend your hooks. This was part of a 8-part series, or maybe even a 10-part series. I'm not sure exactly the number, but it's a large series that I just uploaded to KeenOnline.com on back attacks and how to attack someone's back, how to submit someone, and how to get your hooks. Generally, everything you need to know about attacking, dealing with people's escapes, and how to have a strong control when someone's back is exposed to you. But more importantly, this video is presented to you in 4K HD. Everything from me, all the content that you absorb will now be in 4K. The overall production value of KeenOnline.com has just seen a huge increase due to some tactical investments, and you get to profit from it. Well, actually, I get to profit from it, but you get to learn jiu-jitsu in higher quality now. So check this video out. It's super sick, and make sure to watch it in HD. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, so now we're going to cover a submission option from when you're trying to take someone's back. Another way you can threaten to choke. Not necessarily to get the hooks, but it's always good to be attacking. Always be attacking. ABA. That's what we want. Always be attacking something. Whether it's you're attacking with, you're getting your hooks in, attacking with a choke, attacking by aggressively trying to get to a dominant position. You always need to be moving. Anytime you're stagnant and sit still and wait, that gives your opponent an opportunity to escape. So the more you attack, the more they'll be on the defensive. This is a concept called tempo, which we'll get into in another video soon. So on your back, or actually on your turtle position, on your hands and knees here. Okay, now we talked about how this can be difficult to get your hooks in here. You're trying to get your seatbelt control, but sometimes it's difficult to get this top hand in, okay? So what we're gonna be doing, I'm gonna show you a couple secrets to create space here between his neck, his gi, and his hand. So go ahead and curl up a little bit here. From this position, if I have the collar grip on this side, I'm controlling. He's not really gonna be able to roll that way. He's not gonna turn into me. He's kind of stuck here, so it's up to me to attack. We can do the kickstart hook insertion that we did earlier, where we step on the elbow and get the hook. Another good option is the clock choke. Now, getting the clock choke is the most difficult part. Once you have the grip, it's pretty straightforward to actually finish the submission, but it can be difficult to get your hand in here while they're defending. So what I like to do, just as a basic introductory clock choke setup, because you do need to set this up, almost as if you're setting up a takedown or something. You need to get his body into the proper position before you attack the clock choke. The easiest way is to take your hand and turn it inward. So the palm is facing away, your knuckles are towards his neck. And you're gonna reach and you're gonna grab inside of his wrist here. If you try and grab this way, you're not gonna get the strength you need. You bring your hand in so you can curl it here, pulling away from him, like this. This is sort of putting pressure on his shoulder rather than fighting him muscle for muscle. Just kind of an awkward position. It's very difficult for them to resist. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create space like this. Now, if you're not that strong and you feel like you get stuck here, as long as you created a little bit of space, which you can actually get by sort of using his shoulder as like a fulcrum to help pull this arm out. So if he resists heavily, keeps it super tight, if I can get my hand in on his wrist here like this, all I have to do is leverage my forearm against his shoulder to create a little bit of space. And then I actually use my foot the rest of the way. Once I put my foot here, I can use my hamstring to pull his arm in between my legs and hug it here. Then my other hand, which is on the collar, reaches forward and connects to his other wrist. Here. I put my hand on his other wrist so that now when I go to attack my choke, he's not going to be able to reach his hand to defend as easily. He may still get it there, but I have a little bit of pushing power to stop him from doing this. Once I get the collar grip, I don't need to worry about keeping his arm trapped anymore. I can let go. It doesn't matter. You need to just have a very strong grip here, holding on. We were talking earlier about how it's very important that you have the ability to hold on to a collar grip under immense pressure. A good way to do that is to set up a gi on a pull-up bar and just hang from it for as long as you can. It'll build a very strong amount of isometric strength where you can just hang on to the material and not let go. Because if you can just latch your hand on there, the rest of the leverage can come pretty easily. A lot of chokes fail just because you don't have the grip strength to maintain the proper position on the lapel when you're trying to choke someone. So I'm trying to get to this position here on the collar. If he's curled up and defending, I need to open his wrist first, use my leg to trap him between my legs, push down on his wrist with the other hand, keeping his left arm away, and then reaching to the collar control. Here. Now, turn this way. This is something that we do when we can't get our hooks, right? I wanted my hooks, but he was just defending them too well. So I had to resort to another attack just to keep the match moving and not just to get stuck with the potential of him turning away from me and getting back to his guard, right? So here, there's a couple options we can use with this left hand. I can just keep the grip on his wrist. This is the most basic one, okay? I keep the grip on his wrist here. My goal is to get my hips to connect to the back of his head. So my left hip is going to connect to the back of his head. This is going to push his head down into the choke, as well as sort of locking my hand in place, putting my hips in front of his shoulder. That's the key. I see a lot of people trying to do clock chokes where they keep their chest on his, the back of his back right here. Like the back, how's that, what do I call this? The back of his what? The back of his back. All right. Teaching is hard sometimes.
Upper dorsum.
What did he call it?
Upper dorsum.
Upper dorsum is what?
I say that.
Is upper dorsimus spatial. That makes sense. Yes, we're going to put our sternum on his latissimus dorsi. Oh, my rib. Get off of it.
Tag in.
Ouch. Oh my God, what a disaster. All right, continuing.
Tear
Go back
your
down.
dorsal rib muscle.
Ha! Back down. Karate chop. So, I have the collar grip here, like this. I'm trapping at the other wrist. I need to bring my hips onto his shoulder here, like this, so I can really sag my weight on him. This is so that he cannot roll as easily. If I'm here and he starts to try and roll, I can still get this choke. So he's not able to actually escape. So it's called the clock choke because you don't just finish it right here. You start walking in a circle, like the hands of an evil clock. Okay? The goal, put your opponent to sleep. But the setup is the most important part. Because if you just try and reach like this, he's going to be blocking and he's just not going to let you get it. So you change up your attack. You threaten the arm. Here. There's attacks you can do on this side. Reverse omoplatas, different sort of arm locks. But you're just doing this just to create a little bit of space. Punch them in the jaw a couple times from under here. And then grab the wrist. Get the collar control. And then now I actually want to let go of his arm. Because if I keep his arm trapped, I can't connect my hips to the front of his shoulder like I want. So I let the arm free. And I walk my hips forward. Like this. My collar grip is super strong underneath his neck, and I have his wrist here. Now, some people like to finish right here. They just put pressure and walk until they tap. Ow. Fuck. Sometimes it just feels like the rib just pops up over the other rib. Oh, the sacrifices I make for the good of Jiu-jitsu. So here, if you can just get the collar, great. If not, trap arm. Get the collar, catch and release, he gets his arm back. I can go with the wrist, or I can reach underneath his leg. So I like to do it like this. I like to bring my hips forward, connect my hips to my arm, and then I reach underneath his legs. Rotate. I reach underneath his leg like this, and then continue to walk. I'm going to let go of the choke so I don't kill Sunshine. But this way is really strong, and if for any reason you lose the grip, you don't lose the position. So that's an advantage of reaching underneath the leg. Whereas if I have the wrist instead, and I go here and I start to walk and then I lose this grip, he actually comes to my back. So that's one downside of doing it the traditional way. I kind of like to do under the leg hook. Another option when you're doing the clock choke is to grab the outside of the pants as well. You can do it like this. Not as good. So, and then the final option, which I think is the worst option, but people do this, is getting your hips in the proper position and then putting your arm behind their head to try and like force their head down. But this allows him to just roll away from you pretty easily. And it's not super effective to finish the choke. So that is how you do a clock choke when you can't get your hooks in. A good submission option. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing else.